All right, getting ready for the show. Good morning. It's Greg McIntyre, the Elder Law Guy, and we're here for the Elder Law Report. We have a special guest with us here today, and that is Avila Matthews.
Yes.
Did I say that correct?
Yes, Avila. Yes, sir.
Great. Mr. Matthews, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Mr.
that.
McIntyre, for
You
having
can't
me.
see, but I just shook his hand.
I did
You know,
see.
I can't get used to the concept of radio. Can you see me in your car right now? So
Well, no, but in all honesty,
Are
people
we
do
good?
see it.
Are you serious? Can you see us on the studio camera? Okay, so hey guys, so hey Milton, where can they go to watch us on the studio camera? KTCBroadcasting.com. And what you guys didn't see beforehand is Hayden the Hurricane came through and knocked over the studio camera. Okay, but we got it fixed, didn't we?
I
Right?
used to be called Kelly Clutch. years
Kelly,
ago.
no, it's Hayden the Hurricane.
Hayden the Hurricane now, especially this season.
Hayden, I love you. But Hayden was trying to stretch a 2-foot cord and plug it in about over a 10-foot distance and knocked over the camera this morning. So anyway, so we're up and running. You can go to
Yeah, please move on.
to that address. You can also go to our Facebook page, like and share this broadcast. And we're going to talk a little bit today after we do Hayden's Happy Place. And I start eating my birthday cupcake that I have here. And I'll hold that up. You can see it. It's because it's the 1-year anniversary of something. Or I was born
1
today.
year?
No,
1 year?
I was not born today. No. I'm not. Okay. No, we're going to talk about Cleveland House later. We're going to talk about Cleveland House is a senior living facility in Cleveland County, North Carolina. But this is going to be applicable to anywhere. Okay. We're going to talk about how to pay for it. We're going to talk about what makes Cleveland House different. We're going to talk about how to pick a senior living facility. And, you know, it's really, Mr. Matthews is part of the Affinity Living Group, and that's Greater Charlotte area communities. So they're all over. We're going to talk about the many communities they have in the Charlotte area, and also how to pay for them. You know, how to do that. And we're going to have a great discussion on that because that's my area where I deal all the time. So that's going to be awesome. And thank you for tuning in today. This is my favorite part of the week. Okay, one of my favorite parts of the week, no doubt. Thanks for everyone who came out yesterday to Isothermal Community College in Rutherford County, in Forest City. That people came out in droves and for a seminar we gave and for a senior expo there. And thank you to Taylor and Hayden in our office for meeting and greeting all the seniors. And I hope you're listening this morning. So you know what? Hang out on the front porch or in the kitchen or the living room and grab a cup of coffee and hang out with us for the next 30 minutes because we're going to have some fun and we're going to bring things to your life for seniors and their families that educate and improve their lives. Okay? So, hey, you do your happy place every week, don't you? And it has nothing to do with what we're going to talk about. And I love that, okay? And that's on purpose. That's on purpose, right?
It is.
Yeah. So
sometimes the subjects that we deal with can be just a little sober. So just to lighten it up a little bit,
Keep it light.
keep
Keep
everybody
it fun.
in a happy mood, we try to do something.
Hayden, what's your happy place this morning?
Well, today we're celebrating a birthday, which was yesterday.
Okay.
Since we only broadcast one day a
Happy
week.
belated birthday.
Happy birthday, Constitution.
Constitution of the United States. What's that?
That is the document, it is the oldest existing written government in the world today. Now, in the past, there were thousands of years of rule by, places in Europe.
You mean governmental document?
Yes,
It's the
governmental document.
it's the longest existing governing document, right? And
That's
it's
right.
been amended, right? There's been it
27 times.
But isn't it a living document that can change and be amended over time? It's meant to be that
Do you
way.
really want to go there?
Do you want me to get into that? Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, there's a big debate over that all the
That's
time.
right.
And there always has been, I guess. But there are amendments and there's a procedure to amend the Constitution,
correct.
isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
So my point in saying that is that it makes it a pliable document. It's not rigid or fixed. So therefore it can change with the times,
Well,
right?
but do you call the laws that we, the North Carolina Constitution, do you call the laws in the government, are they flexible?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when I grew up,
But we
50.
have to change them.
Yeah,
You
when I
can't
grew up,
always-
yeah, you gotta change them. Yeah, when I grew up, 55 saved lives, right? And no speed limit in North Carolina was ever 55. right? Because it was just gonna horribly, you know, it was gonna just wreak havoc if you drove over 55. Now I routinely see 70 miles per hour everywhere. So yeah, laws change all the time.
But they're changed legally. You don't just
That's
kinda
correct.
edge
No, no, no.
out of them.
No, without getting into a political discussion, which we
That's
do
why
not
I
want
say
to
you
do.
don't wanna go there.
No, I'm not going to, okay? But, you know, but laws do change all the time. My thoughts are that the Constitution is still around and the longest governing document because it allows for change with the time and there is procedure that allows for that, okay?
That's correct.
Absolutely, and rightly so, okay? And so there's a procedure to change the speed limit for legislators, and there's a procedure to change the Constitution, both in North Carolina and in the United States, right?
Correct.
So happy birthday, Constitution.
230 years.
I'm happy, you know, I'd say it's the most, it's the bestest place to live on earth,
Right.
the United States of America.
Okay, of more relevance to what we do, it's National Caregivers Day. And it's recognized on September the 15th. And I'll add this in, Family Caregiver Appreciation Brunch is being held at the Shelby Mission Camp this
Right.
year. They're honoring family caregivers. And I'll give you a number, it's going to be on Thursday, November 2nd. They're gonna have food, entertainment, you're gonna be served a lunch, and it's by reservation only. And I'm gonna give you the number, it's 704-487-5599, and I'll repeat that. 704-487-5599, and it is in conjunction with Access, which is Accessing Cleveland County Elderly Services,
Sure.
which is the board that you are a member of.
Yeah, we hosted the Access group this week on Tuesday,
There.
right after the hurricane that came through, right?
So if you have a family member who serves as caretaker for someone in your family, or someone, one of your friends, you can call and tell them they might want to.
And participate in the Family
And thank you
Caregiver
for
Appreciation
being a
Brunch.
caregiver.
That's awesome.
And one more thing, today is National Hug Your Boss Day.
Get out of town.
Get out.
Are you serious? Are you giving me a hug?
I'm actually serious. Well, they have National Beer Drinkers Day, and
Yeah.
you gotta have Hug Your Boss. And I
Okay,
brought
so-
you a gift, which will probably go
Are you kidding me?
to one of the little munchkins that you have.
Oh, it's a bear.
It's a Navy bear,
Oh, and it's a Navy bear from the USS Ronald Reagan.
yes.
That's pretty cool. Where'd you get that?
Um,
From the Ronald
that's a
Reagan?
long story.
Okay.
And not a bad story, I
Anyway, well, okay, but stay tuned for the after party, which is after we're off air.
Okay.
And we'll maybe tell that story, okay? And maybe we can you can listen to me and Hayden get into a political debate over the Constitution, okay? That should be fun.
Well, I'm working on, helping my granddaughter work on a paper that's about the Constitution, so I've learned a lot, and had to use my Google Dictionary a
Okay.
lot.
Anybody who knows Hayden knows that she does get political sometimes, and she loves it, so thank you, Hayden, for your
Well, I only
advocacy.
love it if it fits in with the spirit of the event.
Absolutely.
So I'm not gonna start a political discussion in the middle of a serious.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hayden.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, everything you do. Okay, so, Mr. Matthews,
Yes.
Cleveland House, but not just Cleveland House, it sounds like Affinity Living Group is more what we're talking about, is that right?
That is correct, sir.
Okay.
In fact, Affinity Living Group is one of the largest assisted living community outfits in the southeastern part of the United States.
Right.
And in fact, we have over 4,000 employees.
Yes, sir.
We in fact, the 10th largest assisted living provider in the nation,
Sure.
and also the 7th largest provider in memory care in
Right.
the nation. So we are expanding, also that we are getting ready to open our 100th community in the North Carolina region just this year.
100th community
100th community.
in and around North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
That is impressive, 100. I couldn't imagine managing one. It would be hard. I mean, that's a job, right?
Yes.
You have a lot of responsibility to care for seniors, right? To
Yes,
deal
sir,
with their
that is
families.
correct. In fact, we care for over 7,000 seniors every day.
Wow, I mean, that's like a ministry. It
Yes.
really is. That's awesome. Thank you very much for what you do.
Well, thank
And what
you.
your Affinity Group does. So what makes Affinity different? What does Affinity provide?
Affinity provides different levels of care.
Mhm.
And when I speak of different levels of care, again, we specialize in assisted living, and all our employees are required to have certification.
Sure.
Which they specialize in those particular areas of providing senior care. Also in our memory care, we also have certified CNAs and med techs that have to care for those that have Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's, those different diseases. So everyone is certified, and that's what's so unique about that, because we just don't go pick somebody off the street and just say, okay, come wash and bathe them,
They have to
etc.
be trained.
They have to be
They
trained.
have to be certified.
Certified. So,
So
and every
So
year,
they're serious about what
exactly, they are serious,
It's
and
their profession,
every
yeah.
year, they are required to have 20 hours of training.
So you can depend on that certification.
Exactly.
When you go into an Affinity Living Group community, which includes Cleveland House in Cleveland County, also in Cleveland County, Country Time Inn.
Yes, sir.
In Kings Mountain.
That's
I'm
correct.
familiar with that one as well. Somerset Court of Cherryville.
Yes.
I assume that's in Gaston County.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, but really close by. We're in Cherryville right now.
Yes, sir.
Broadcasting, sure. And then there's all over, they're all over, you know, well, there's one in Gastonia, Wellington House, and then there's these Queen City ones that are in, you know, Queen City Assisted Living, and that's right in smack dab in Charlotte, it looks like, in
Yes,
kind of
sir.
the beltway there, and then there's all of, you know, quite a few others right in and around the Charlotte area,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Of interest to us, because we work in the western part of the state too, they're getting ready to expand, and Avila can give you more information on that, but we were just talking about that before you arrived.
Oh, wow.
So they're looking at Lake Lure and then.
Yes, sir. In fact, they're building a community at Lake Lure as we speak. We also have communities in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and going on up into Brevard. And so
Right.
we're moving more towards the western part of the United States, because we saw that there was a need in that area. So we are excited about our expansion that is taking place right
Sure,
now.
I'm excited about your expansion. That's awesome. I'm excited for you.
And I'm just excited to be in the area, because I spent the last 2 years of my time in the eastern part, but coming to the west, and what I'm discovering, the need, and people really asking questions and searching for answers for some of the things that they are encountering. And
I
I'm
mean,
just happy
where
to
do
be
we
a
where
part.
do we go if we you know, if I need assisted living care? Where can I afford to go?
Right.
One of the things I like about Affinity Living Group, I'll say this, is that you seem to offer great services at an affordable rate,
Yes, sir.
and that is impressive to me.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
So it's families can do it.
Yes, sir.
okay? Seniors can do it on their incomes.
Yes, sir.
And it, you know, hopefully, the best way that I found to afford to pay for long-term care or assisted living care is to have a long-term care insurance policy.
Yes.
That's the best way.
Yes.
Because then you don't have to spend your own money. You don't have to worry about applying for benefits. And you have that cushion, and it gives you time
Yes.
to plan and protect your assets if there's an emergency situation where you need care.
That's true.
I don't sell insurance. I'm not an insurance agent. If you want to call me and ask about it, I can refer you to someone who can help. But, and you can call it 704-259-7040. However, I don't sell insurance, but I can tell you, in dealing with seniors who have long-term care insurance,
Yes.
it is a godsend if they have it. And if not, then your income may be enough to pay for care, for assisted living care.
That's true.
Okay? And as you have an elevated care need and go up to, say, nursing home care,
Yes.
then those care costs can double or triple, okay?
Yes.
Then it becomes a real challenge. Not a lot of people have that level of income.
Right.
But at assisted living care, at that level, I think you guys do a phenomenal job of making it reachable for seniors to pay for.
Yes.
Other ways that you can pay for care, and you and I were talking about this before we started,
Yes.
is you can roll to a Medicaid benefit to pay for assisted living care in North Carolina, although that's income contingent, and the bar on the income level is somewhat low.
Yes.
But still possibly qualify for that.
Yes.
And, you know, we are mainly a benefits firm, which help people qualify for assisted living and nursing home care
Yes.
while holding on to hard-earned money and property, right?
Right.
Or you can roll to a veterans benefit, like Veterans Aid and Attendance, for the veteran, spouse of a veteran, or spouse of a deceased veteran, that can add up to a maximum of approximately $34,000. That would be to married veterans, to their income, which is amazing. Even at the level of around approximately $14,000 for a spouse of a deceased veteran for annual income, you can take someone who has a shortfall, income versus what's owed per month to an assisted living facility, and put them over the top, where they're actually saving money. And it's not something, they're not looking for a handout, and you want to put a smile on a senior's face, especially a prideful senior's face, and a family, that they get this pension because of the benefit of their military service or their spouse's military service. That's something they deserve, and that helps them pay, and they can save a little money while they're in assisted living care and not stress their savings, jeopardize their assets, right, to sell properties to pay for it, or stress their family who might be chipping in to help pay.
Exactly.
So there are a number of ways to help pay. Did I not cover one?
Yes,
Sorry, I got on a roll there.
Yeah, you covered it. One of the things that is unique about it, Greg, is that even we being able to accept Medicaid, one of the things that's so advanced, and our rates are low, and the fact we provide what we call all-inclusive care, meaning that what that monthly rate that is being paid by the family, that includes all the care, the level of care that we provide, even transportation. We don't mind, itemize different care. Let me get rid of, blow away the myth of a Medicaid institution, okay? Let me just put this out there to the public, because I get people who come to me all the time, and they say, oh, well, do they have to go to a Medicaid facility? Is that where they have to go? Is that what, we don't want that to happen. We don't, and I'm like, look, I bet you 90+% of the places in North Carolina where you can go receive care are hybrids, are either also accept Medicaid. They obviously you'll accept private pay to pay for care, long-term care insurance or income, right, to pay for care. But most facilities are, most senior living facilities are also a hybrid with Medicaid. They will accept Medicaid. Yes.
There is no Medicaid facility. Right. Let me dispel that myth right now. I said dispel that myth earlier. Did you hear me say that? Okay. I don't think that's a word. But dispel, let me get rid of that myth right now.
A lot of words begin somewhere.
That's right. So if dismell, that means I didn't smell something. Right?
I want to de-smell it.
De-smell it. Yeah. So let me de-smell that myth, okay? All right. It doesn't exist. It's simply, there are hybrid facilities. The only way that your assisted living facility, for instance, and I know them, and they're very nice, don't take Medicaid at all, is if they only take private pay. You know, you just make a decision as a facility, we're not gonna service a certain part of the population. We are only going to be private pay, okay?
Well, I guess there's upscale and everything.
Well, I don't like that term.
No.
I'm not gonna say upscale, okay? Because there are really nice places to stay that are hybrid facilities. And that's the myth I want to dispel.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference between upscale and downscale and upscale, and just in terms of money.
Yes.
And, you know, I drive a Honda. I drive a great car. I don't drive
That Honda's a great car.
1952.
You don't drive a Lamborghini?
No. So they're just different levels, and some
There
people are fortunate enough to stay places where they have beautiful curtains and beautiful.
Best car I ever had was a Honda Accord.
I love my Honda CRV.
You got a CRV, you know? And that's a great way to put it. That you can get great care, great service, you know, for the family in a hybrid facility. You really can, and most of them are that way.
I have an aunt and cousin who live in Cleveland, and my cousin, particularly my aunt, would be happy. You could put her in hell and she'd sit there and smile. She's just an angel on this earth. My cousin has just really blossomed and thrived with the schedules, the regimentation. She knows when she's going to go play bingo, and don't try to get her to get out of that place when they have bingo. And there are other things, coloring things, and related to how high functioning you are at different activities. And they're very happy there. And I remember when my grandmother was in a.
They are actually in Cleveland House.
Yes.
And Affinity Living Group
Yes.
place. You trust them enough to put your family there.
Well, it was not my decision,
Right.
but I certainly approved.
Gotcha.
Well,
somebody trusted them.
When my grandmother was in a nursing home years ago, it was a totally different world. Everything had, some of them started upgrading their facilities, and the others, in order to compete, had to. And almost any that you walk into now, and I know that because my father has visited in several, and I visited in more, just trying to find places for him to go to rehab. And they have new flooring. A lot of them are very similar. You can't tell, one from another, but they're clean and they have a nice fresh smell, and the meals are good. Meals and visitors are, I think, the two most important things
Sure.
to people.
Sure.
And you get in there and give them a decent meal, and they're usually happy.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's one facility that you're directly responsible for that has all private rooms, don't you?
Yes, and that is Somerset Court here in Charlotte. Yes, predominantly private rooms, yes,
That
exactly.
could be a factor that's important to a lot of people.
You don't wanna bunk with me?
Correct.
What?
I never
We'd
thought you'd
have
ask.
We'd have political discussions.
Yes, we would.
All right.
We're not, I don't think we would have arguments. I think we might have philosophical or discussions, but yeah.
I would
And I
challenge,
love
I would challenge you though.
You would be
Think
the
about it.
heck out of me.
Oh, no, I
You're the
anybody who
smartest
knows
man.
Hayden would know that's not
You're
true.
the, you're the
So-
smartest man I know personally,
Well, you know what?
and you're very knowledgeable, so.
I'm the only person, I'm the only man she knows. So, hey, Mr. Matthews, what else? I mean, did we not cover anything? I wanted to put out there that dispel that myth, and also talk about just that, it's achievable for anyone, in
Yeah.
any situation. I'd rather see people plan ahead.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
And one
you'd
of
like to see
the,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
and one of the things, Greg, that was so unique is because, as I was sharing with Hayden before the show, I see many families that have loved ones that, when we talk about qualifying for Medicaid, some do not qualify, they don't make enough money to qualify, but they don't make enough money to pay private pay. And
Well, they make too much money to
Too much
qualify.
money to pay
Right, in
private
assisted
pay,
living, in
assisted living.
yeah, yeah.
And one of the things that what Affinity recognize is that we have that population of people that has a tendency to slip through the cracks. So Affinity going in there wants to try to be able to make sure that no one is left
I
behind.
mean, the worst thing they can do is come meet with someone, a social worker there and talk to
Yes,
them.
exactly.
The family can come meet and talk to them, figure it out. And,
Exactly.
I'd invite everyone to go, just schedule a meeting with an Affinity Living Group community
Yes.
in your area. And just
Exactly.
go by and check it out, because
Yes.
they're really nice, okay?
Oh,
And talk to
absolutely.
the social workers. I mean, let's give them too much to do, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
because we do have people that are knowledgeable, especially our business department. They be more than happy to
They can
discuss
make
the
those
business.
assessments.
And we in the marketing division, we have been educated in areas of getting a little bit of level of understanding of what's going on out there in that market. So we have been able to be helpful. Well, like myself, Greg, that's why I've been going to a lot of trainings and listening to
You need to
wonderful
come to
people
work.
like
You need to come to
yourself
work. You need
and,
to come to work. I need to come to work with you, or
and
vice versa.
And I
We need to
just
work
visit,
together.
yeah, and I educate on Medicaid because these are things that it's a big topic right now. In fact, I was talking with a Medicaid worker just 2 months ago.
Right.
And I asked her, I said, how much applications do you process now? And she told me that the applications in Medicaid are up over 8% from this time last year.
So let me tell you how we can, and we can talk about some more after the show.
Yes.
But I'd love to offer our services to help, especially the veterans
Yes.
in your communities, to add extra income that can help them private pay. I'd love to help them do that. We're excellent at doing that. I'm a certified attorney through the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm a veteran myself of the U.S. Navy. I love my time in service. Some of it was tough, but I enjoyed it, and it made me a better man, okay?
Right.
And I want to pay back my fellow veterans, and this is one way I do it, is by offering those services. And I'd love to offer Veterans Aid Attendance Assessments to Affinity Group veterans, okay?
Yes.
Resident
Another-
veterans.
Yes.
We'd love to do that.
Yes, sir.
Another thing is, if you are a veteran or a veteran's wife or a widow or a widower, or husband, if you have been told in the past that you did not qualify, there are ways that Greg can possibly help you
Oh, yeah.
qualify.
Well,
So
see, I'm the
don't
qualifier.
assume that that's like the final decision.
Well, because I'm an attorney, I mean, I can't, I'm not gonna tell you, look, you just don't fit under this cookie cutter thing because you have X income and X assets and it just doesn't fit. I'm just sitting there trying to jam a square peg in a round hole.
Yes.
That's not my job. My job is to look at the rules and figure out how we can get you to qualify under the rules.
Right.
And I have a ton of ways that, you know, and I'm a member of national groups that help me do this. Elder Council, as well as VISPRO, which is the National Veterans Group. We process applications for aid and attendance straight from our office.
Yes.
We have benefits processors that do that, and Medicaid applications,
Yes.
straight from our office.
Yes.
And instead of you just going somewhere and spending down every bit of your money to $2,000 and qualifying, we help you save that and the house. I mean, don't give up the house. You know, just at least let us take a look and put a ladybird deed on the house. And how bad is it?
And
if
that's
you-
for non-veterans too.
Oh, yeah, non-veterans too.
Qualify them.
And if you, that's,
Just
oh,
save
especially
them.
for Medicaid, if
Save
you roll
them.
into Medicaid, it
Yes.
protects it. It passes it directly to the kids when heaven forbid the senior passes away, and protects it from that Medicaid lien coming back when that house passes through probate and paying
Yes.
back
Yes.
that Medicaid lien. So, I could go on for
I
another
know.
30 minutes. I want
I
to,
know.
because I want to explore this, and I really like Mr. Matthews.
I think we have to prearrange that.
Okay, we need to do a part two.
Sure.
Can we do a part two? Would you come back and do a part two?
I'd be more than happy to come back.
Because I'd love to hear more about what the facilities look like on the inside.
Yes.
What do you offer?
Yes.
Can I come play cards? Can I, you know, what can we do? You know, because Hayden and I like to play, what do we like to do, Hayden? We like to play pickleball,
We like,
and,
do you like to play canasta?
you have to teach me how to play canasta.
Oh, no.
Did you say oven? This is the second time you've cursed on my show today?
I'm sorry.
All right, no, but spades and hearts,
Sure, got that?
poker, I'm pretty good at. I'm giving, Milton's gonna kick us off the air,
That's
okay?
right. He
What we got,
probably
Milton? How,
has.
what are we at, Tom?
Time to say goodbye.
3 minutes? 3 minutes, okay?
You're very
3
generous.
minutes. Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Avila Matthews from Affinity Living Group for coming today. Tell me a little bit more. We've got a 3-minute wrap.
Yes, and what I would like, again, we are available to everyone, and I wanted to just take a moment to let anyone know if they want to get in contact with us, they are welcome to go to the website, www.affinityliving.group.com,
Okay.
and they will also be able to pull up information, and at the same time, they can go up and look under careers. We are hiring at this point too, med techs, cooks, CNAs, and so there's a lot of career opportunities.
You got an attorney
There's
there?
there's a lot of career opportunities there, and so I wanted to point that out as
Give
well.
them that web address again.
www.affinityliving.group.com.
Okay, and you can check out everything about Affinity Living Group and just find out, hey, is there a place for you? I want you to schedule that visit. I want them out there to schedule visits with the social workers there.
Yes.
Just to tour it, talk about how that might be paid for. And, hey, if you got any questions about the show today, I did it last week, I'm gonna do it again this week. If you call in today, okay? Today for this part of the state and for the Asheville area, Monday, call in code word radio. I'll do a free consult. I'll waive my $150 consult fee. We can talk about how to plan ahead to save your hard-earned money and property and make sure that you have the funds to go somewhere great like Affinity Living Group if the time ever comes for that, okay? And thank you so much, Mr. Matthews,
Thank you
being
for
here.
having
See,
me.
I had to
Thank
shake
you,
his hand
Hayden.
again
We're
today.
on a first
I get
name
our hand.
basis now, right?
Thank
So
you.
we are winding down and wrapping it up, and I'm hugging my Ronald Reagan CVN 78 bear, Navy bear. What's the TY on it mean? Beanie Baby. Oh, it's a
That's
beanie
a
baby.
Beanie Baby.
I got a beanie baby. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's Boss's Day. So give your boss a hug out there, okay? And thank you for tuning in. This has been Greg McIntyre with the Elder Law Report. See you next week. I mean, we could talk like for another 30 minutes, easy.
We were on a roll.
Oh, that's,
So we can
I
easily
really
go another
enjoyed-
30.
Oh, yes.
On just, and get into anything you wanted to get into.
Yes.
Activities.
Yes.
You can get into, you know,
Okay.
the food,
Yes, sir.
you know, the smell, the look, the feel,
Yes.
you know, things that you look at when you,
Yes.
when you look for a top-notch assisted living place, you know, pay attention to how the, you know, is the staff friendly? Will they look at you? How are the people there? You know, how does it smell? How does it look? How do you feel? Trust your gut. You know, I mean, you know, we could really talk about that. And other things.
And that's one of the things, Rick, that,
Sure.
we want you and your staff, you know, to come out and speak to, in some of our communities where then they can be, especially families, so they can be educated as well. I have sent out, an email blast to our referral sources that
Sure.
do refer to us to come and hear you, present as well. So we're reaching out to everyone, social
I
worker,
appreciate it.
healthcare professionals. We're reaching out to everyone in the counties. In fact, we're sending it out to Cleveland County, Gaston County,
Sure.
Lincoln County, Mecklenburg County. We're reaching out to the surrounding counties because we want them to hear the information that you have to give that is very valuable, that I know that will help some seniors.
And I'll tell you, just so you know, we're still live on our
Okay.
Facebook channel, okay?
Okay.
And we're still running live.
Yes.
So this is what I call the after party, okay?
Okay.
So we're off the air, right?
Okay.
But we can talk about other stuff,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And stuff we didn't have time to cover. So hang in there and we'll cover some other ground. I love that. And Hayden knows, you know, my push is, you know, I've found my calling, and I love this area of law,
Yes.
and I love problem solving, and we're expanding. We've gotten a bigger office in Shelby that we'll be moving into. That's on. I call it the gateway to Shelby. It's the corner of Graham and DeKalb there, right? Right
That's it
uptown.
there.
Okay.
They're
And-
right there in the corner of the
Yeah.
downtown area.
That's right, and so we've got a bigger area that we're gonna expand our production staff there and our ability to serve the immediate local community. But I burn the roads up between Charlotte and Asheville all the time, or Concord and Asheville,
Yes.
on that 74-85 corridor. And I have 11 meeting spaces in Charlotte that are high-end office facilities, and I have one at Biltmore Park in Asheville, okay? So, and anytime we need to meet in Lincolnton, we have a space, we meet with clients there. And I'm looking, my next project is after we move into our new office within the next month or so, I'm gonna open up one in Charlotte too, and we're gonna apply our philosophy there, because what we do is really different than any other, law office that I know of, okay?
Yes.
And I'd love to, like I said, I'll be your outhouse counsel for
Yes.
qualifying for Medicaid applications, VA benefits. I mean, it's nice if I can have that income, it can help people pay private pay.
Absolutely.
That's a lot better than having to roll with Medicaid benefit.
That's true. And my intentions, like I said, you know, just Cleveland House is just one of the, communities that I'm lobby to arrange that you come in, but I would like for you to come into our other communities and share the valuable information that you have.
Oh, I'd love to, and Hayden knows, I mean, they were in Rutherford County yesterday doing a whole show. They did a better job, I bet you they did a better job of, doing the seminar. I'm glad I wasn't there yesterday, I'll
I
say
can
that.
assure you, we.
They did
do a
an
better
amazing job. That's what we were talking about when I first walked in.
Yeah.
You have this procedure, right? And usually we'll have everything set up, we'll offer appointments right there, free of charge. I'll waive that consult fee
Yes.
of $150 if people sign up right there, right? And we didn't do that yesterday. We had, I think, but 17 people wanted
Yes.
to sign up, or wanted to give them a call back, which is nice. And then we do other, concerts.
We go to
Seminar, educational
facilities
seminars
and
all
talk
over the
to the
place.
families.
Gastonia, Charlotte, wherever we need to go. And I work, man, it's not really work to me. What is it? You find your calling or your passion, it's not, you'll never work a day in your life, kind of thing. I do, man. I take appointments 7 days a week, literally. God rested on the seventh day, but I hadn't built my universe yet, okay? So I got 6 kids to feed, right? So I work hard for my clients and my family, and I'll come out anytime on site too. That's what we were talking about too. Hayden's going out to a house today to notarize something for someone in-house, and Hayden does those things for us. Nobody's better with clients than Hayden.
You've got a
Talk to
signing
them,
at your office, I'd like to stop in and just speak to some friends.
Oh, today?
Yeah, signings
Today?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't mention their
I don't
names.
know if I'm there or not, but
That's okay.
I've
I
got a
just wanna
lunch.
see them.
Is it around lunchtime?
I don't know, I just
We'll
noticed.
look at it.
I noticed one right there.
I've got a lunch in Charlotte today that I'm gonna go to, but, are you, now, do you wanna take part in a short political discussion? I don't know if you're ready or not. I don't know how political, I'm gonna tell you, That's why I said, no, we're not gonna get into that today. So-
We're
Okay.
live.
I know we're live. We're off the
So
radio
do you,
though.
or is this gonna go back to the living constitution versus a document in which all laws
The
are?
framers, is everything just as the framers intended? I don't know. I'm gonna throw out there, there is a big argument and divide over how to interpret things in the
Oh, I'm
Constitution.
very aware of that.
Okay, and the court does that, and people will call it activist judges sometimes on the other side of that, right?
And I think.
But the court's
most people would
job-
agree that happens sometimes.
But the court's job, in my opinion, is to, and this is all opinion, is to, and I'm not a constitutional scholar by any means, okay? But the court's job is to interpret the Constitution and other laws.
Interpret,
Wouldn't you agree?
interpret is
Yeah,
the right
interpret.
word, absolutely. And a lot of people say, well, the framers didn't live in this day and time, so
They
they would have
didn't.
made the decision this way. Well, then let's change the law. It would be no
Gotcha.
different than you trying to represent someone in court and ask the judge to decide, well, that was a 70-mile-per-hour speed limit. I'm using this, you don't do traffic, but we know, we think we should really do 65, so if you don't mind, you just kind of do that. And I'm not saying that they don't sometimes reduce the
Yeah.
speeds and things like that, but you just can't arbitrarily make laws to suit yourself. They have, in my opinion, they have to be legitimate
Yeah.
and in writing. And the Constitution is set up with three houses of government: the executive, the judicial, and
But keep it in balance, right? Checks and balances.
Mhm.
Okay.
and the legislative, and they have separate.
She doesn't know.
They have separate.
They have no idea.
separate
Oh,
functions.
she's so into politics for days. I
And
mean, it's awesome. It's impressive.
Do you believe, Hayden, that it's based on one's perception of what they have comprehended in that writing in the Constitution, or do you? What is it that you?
I don't know any other way you do it.
What is it
I mean, it's
that you are
perception.
looking for?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you
Your
want people to
question-
understand?
your question is probably the biggest division between the parties, or
Okay.
between groups, I guess I should say. There are some who are strict constitutionalists that think you go by the letter of the law, and the law says these things, and these
Can I-
things only are delegated
Yeah.
to the federal government, and everything else is
Yeah.
delegated to the states, and we all know that is
Okay.
a very
Okay.
porous membrane between those two things. Now,
Okay, so if you're a strict constitutionalist, don't you still have to interpret what the Constitution means?
well, yeah, but, I mean, a word is a word,
And who does that?
the Supreme Court.
There you go.
But they have,
So
they have been
I guess
done,
even
and-
the
and some
definition
them
of strict
even admittedly-
constitutionalist, I don't understand exactly. And now we have to, the Constitution's awesome, okay? It gives us the pliability and flexibility to change over time. We know that needs to happen. There are really great glaring examples of that I won't bring up right now that needed to change based on how it was written originally, okay? And those are changed with like the Bill of Rights, the amendments, right? Those things, right? Amendments to the Constitution that needed to happen, right? Lots of them, okay? For civil rights and women's rights, right? And other stuff, right?
Right.
You know, so glaring examples right here, you know,
Okay.
that had to happen, okay? And those are changes, but the Constitution's built to be a living document. It's built to be a living, changeable document, and you can legally, right, change I wanna say it has to be 2/3 of the House and Senate, plus the president has to sign off. Isn't that what it is? I wanna say, don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. You know, that's what you have to have to get a constitutional amendment, right? To get the constitutional amendment. So you just have to politically swing that, right? So there's rules in there for that to happen. When the Constitution grates too much against modern day public policy or what's right or wrong, then you can change it.
There's so much polarity now.
That's why
between
that's
the
why
two
it's still
major
that's
parties.
why it's still around. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yes. And it's
I don't know,
lasted-
man. There's
It's
another
lasted
thing,
longer
yeah.
than any other constitution of its type, one that was actually created.
Yeah.
It wasn't a despot who decided, well, we're gonna make you, cut so many hectares of wheat every day, or when going back to those times. But it actually was thought through, you know, everything in that constitution was developed by people who cared about this country, and it was based on freedom. It is not a democracy. People say, oh, this is a democratic. It isn't. It's a republic.
It is a republic.
What it does not let majority
It's a democratic
rule.
form of government.
It does not let majority rule when it comes to things in the Constitution because you have to protect the people who
The
will be
little guy.
voted against
Well, you have to, I
and
mean, the
protect their
majority.
rights.
Right, it's not a lynch mob type
No.
mentality. It's the majority doesn't necessarily rule because we have certain inalienable rights that are protected, okay? No matter what the majority is, like free speech, right? Things like that, right?
Freedom of religion.
Agreed. So back to the original thing. You agree that the Constitution is a living document in the fact there is a legal procedure to change it,
Yes.
correct?
But a lot of people.
And it
refer
has
to
changed
as-
over time, which allows it to be pliable and flexible.
A lot of people have referred to the living Constitution as the Constitution, which you can just interpret things the way they project on the framers what they would have chosen to do had they been living in the 21st century.
There is no
And
doubt
to me
that there is
not
a
right.
media and political battle over the interpretation of the Constitution.
And
There is
even
absolutely
judicial.
that going on.
Some of the judges
And
have
well,
been
and that,
known to
that-
rule.
to me, they're just part of that media and political battle. Really, it's a political battle. The media is just a tool, you know. But yeah, so there's a political battle that also involves judges. But judges are appointed by politicians,
But
or they're
yeah,
elected.
Well,
right, and that's one of the reasons why I
They are
understand that.
nominated
Yeah,
by the president.
Not all of them. Some of them are elected.
yeah.
You're talking about federal.
Supreme Court judges.
You're talking about
Supreme.
federal. Well, federal
I'm
judges
strictly
are
about
okay.
federal judges are not.
Federal and the.
It's the
we
Supreme,
got
it's the
state
Supreme
judges.
Court, so is the Supreme Court role, it's like it was just discussed about how, the interpretation of the Constitution, and then sometimes things are done according to what a person has interpreted what the Constitution says. Is that the role of the Supreme Court, that they step in when maybe 2 or 3 or 4 parties don't agree on how they interpreted the Constitution? Then the
Even
Supreme
within the
Court
government.
steps in?
Even within the government. Like, there's a recent immigration ruling by the Supreme Court this week or last week,
Okay.
where they decided between, I think the executive branch and maybe the judicial branch's lower court ruling, right? And they'll even straighten out their own lower courts, you know, so yes, they'll come in and they'll interpret based on the Constitution and based on past decisions, right? So past
And you can
case
get in
law,
trouble there.
decisions that have already been made, you know, that are law, that are, you know, so.
Precedents that have been
Yeah,
set by.
Thank you for the word, I lost it,
I'm studying to put my granddaughter on her.
yeah. You're in law school?
No,
Okay.
and I have no desire to go to law school.
So anyway, interesting
I still
discussion.
don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
I understand what you're saying, and I know where you are as far as the flexible interpretation and what you view as activist judges trying to advance a political agenda from the bench. But the truth is, and
And
this
people
is what I
ignoring
think
the judicial
people,
altogether.
I think people outside of the law sometimes don't understand, okay, or don't get. They're like, oh, it's political. That was a political decision. Everything's a political decision.
I am going to.
Even 2 lawyers lobbying a judge is you trying to get him or her to make a certain decision.
Yes.
And yes, there is interpretation there. And that's the judge's job.
There's a lot.
I think there's too much politics in it, and some judges are elected politicians. Our state judges are elected, right? So, and it's supposed to be nonpartisan, but I'm sorry, it's not.
But they
It's
cycle
not
through
nonpartisan.
one party.
You
one
can't
party
declare
leads
on the
over here,
ballot
and then
that
one-
you belong to a party, but there's definitely a political leaning.
Sometimes you
Huh?
can, sometimes you can.
Okay, sometimes you can. Anyway,
And I don't know exactly which ones. but-
yeah, you're right. Something was changed recently on that, yeah. Anyway, so,
But
so,
let me say this
Yes.
before we stop. I don't know what percentage of people have never read the Constitution. They probably read the preamble,
yeah.
Declaration of Independence,
Sure.
or shorter documents. And they probably read the Bill of Rights even. But to have read the entire Constitution, it will give you an education. It will tell you the thoughts behind why they made the decisions that they did. And it shows you the integrity of the law that they wanted to convey.
Oh, no doubt. They
Yeah.
wanted to create something that would really last and something that would be
And it's done well
flexible
for a
and work
republic.
for a long time.
Yes.
I think they've done really well. Okay? But they did what they could with what they had at the time, and based on history and, you know, the Rome and
The 18th century.
and philosophy and all that. Well, I mean, you
Long
know,
time ago.
they really, I mean, really, the Greeks and Romans had this going, you know, democracy going way before we did.
Well, we don't have
in
a
Republic.
democracy, we have a.
Well, in Plato's Republic, right? Yeah, so that's not no new concept.
Yeah, I just keep emphasizing the word republic so people will understand. We don't all just decide to vote that these people can or cannot do.
We have democratically elected officials.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We do have democratically elected officials. There's no doubt that we.
But they are
democracy
obligated
because
to
elected
work
officials.
within the framework of the Constitution.
Yes, they are. They are held accountable, which is interpreted by the Supreme Court.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Anybody out there who wants to ask any more questions about the Constitution, call Hayden. Because Hayden will tell you.
Well, yes, I am.
Thank you,
political. I've
Hayden.
been political. Oh, gosh.
Hey, nobody's mad at you. I appreciate everything.
Well, thank you for that. It's been a while since I really had that history lesson. That's why I asked those questions, and it was very interesting listening to what you were saying, because really, I think it needs to be said, because it's not talked about a whole lot, and a lot of people are just seeing a lot of things going on, but
Plus,
don't
when you
really
look at the media,
understand.
when you look at the media, you hear these extreme positions on both sides, depending on which channel you pick to watch, right?
Yeah.
And I flip back and forth.
Yeah.
I'll because I want to find like the truth maybe about a story.
Okay.
And I don't think it resides on either extreme side being
That's
put
true.
out. It's probably somewhere in the middle, you know.
Yes.
And you can usually kind of see that.
Oh, yeah.
If you like, okay, this person's motivated or paid to say this or what, you know,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
you know, or the owner told him to, you know, or what, you know. So, but you don't have just honest discussions about things like this. And we didn't really cover any political topics today. That'd be a fun show. That would be a fun
We're
show.
not coming to that one.
You would be the perfect one.
No.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank
Anything
you so
anything I
much.
can do for you,
Yes.
please. let
Oh,
me know.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely. And like I said, I'm gonna be getting that information to Taylor, because we're looking forward to having you on the 12th of October at
Yes.
Cleveland House.
Can't
And
wait.
like I say, I am gonna be lobbying to have you come into our other communities, because like I say, you have information that the public needs to hear and know.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy what I do, and there's a lot of things that people don't know about benefits, about paying for long-term care, about protecting assets.
Yes.
You know, they just don't know. And,
I wanted to give you she has let me give you my card
Sure.
and everything, sir.
Thank you,
But
sir.
I definitely, well,
you have mine, right? I don't want to assume.
Let
So
me
give you mine,
just,
okay?
yeah, because definitely I want to have you come to our communities and share that valuable information that you have.
Man, I appreciate it. I can't thank you enough.
And my history lesson, I know who to come to.
It's unreal. Yeah, you just scratched the surface. Man.
My
But
history
she's good,
lesson.
though. Anything you want done, that Haydenism.
You give
I
me too
said,
much credit.
I said
Oh.
Hurricane Hayden.
I'm just.
A hurricane.
Well, I've been known
If it was Hurricane Hayden, it'd be a Category 12 hurricane.
I've been known to get a little bit, to raise my voice a little bit, so I'm trying to moderate myself.
Oh, I'm not talking about the voice
But you
raising.
found it.
I'm talking about just your ability to get things done and organize.
Oh, okay.
You're a great organizer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for listening today. We'll come to you next week with some great information. Bye.